Hey everyone, Garbage here. Right now I'm making a multiplayer first-person shooter, and for the past 2 months I've been working on the boring backend stuff, which I don't want to make any videos about. But now that that's done, I finally get to start on something a bit more interesting, the visual style for my game. Overall, I have a few goals for the game that will affect the design choices I make. 1. The game must be lightweight, meaning that the file size is no bigger than 10 gigabytes and preferably under 5 gigabytes if possible. 2. The graphics need to be simple, using low poly models since I don't have time to do high poly stuff on my own. And 3. It has to have a distinct look. One of the key reasons why modern AAA games have such huge file sizes these days is because of the high resolution textures used in their models. Oftentimes 4K, 8K resolution, these massive textures take up a surprising amount of space, and every texture for every environment, character, weapon, and cosmetic needs to be included in the download so that players can display them properly on their devices. One way to reduce the file size of a game is to use low-resolution textures instead, similar to what you'd find in old PlayStation games. But the problem is that when used in the traditional way, these low-resolution textures give a very pixelated look, which is great if you're going for the low-poly retro look, but I didn't want to be yet another indie developer making a retro-inspired game, and so I needed to find a different art style. So what I'm trying out right now is a style that uses a lot of techniques inspired by anime. Once I've finished modeling an object for my game, I then separate it into smaller pieces based on what color they should be, and then distort the UVs of these pieces into these rectangular shapes, which I can fill in with flat colors defining the base look of the model. And then to give it more definition, I outline the rectangles with a dark border, creating lines around the sections of the model I want to emphasize, all while staying super crisp and unpixelated despite using a very low resolution texture. This is a technique pioneered by the art director for the game Guilty Gear Xrd to recreate the traditional 2D anime look using 3D models. And he explains all of the details in this hour-long GDC talk on YouTube. I'll provide a link to that video down below. The final step is to create an outline around the model, and to do that I'm using what's known as the inverted hull method. Basically, I surround the model with a slightly thicker duplicate of itself in a dark opaque color, and then I have the engine only render the parts of the duplicate that are facing away from the camera. That way you can see the actual model underneath, but with a dark outer layer that looks like a hand-drawn border, and it looks pretty decent. So kudos to whoever came up with this technique, it's kinda genius. Of course, it's not perfect, the model still looks pretty flat, so I'm still thinking about how I could add shading and more details to make it look more lively, but overall I think it succeeds in giving it that animated look. I probably won't be using this exact same technique for the maps and environments because that would make the game too cartoony and not anime-like. But I'm not trying to make an anime game either, so this is just something I'll have to tweak until I get a look that I'm happy with. Either way, let me know in the comments whether you think this is a good art direction to take or if you hate it. Come check out my second channel as well as my Twitch channel where I live stream most days of the week. We play a lot of FPS games, anything from CS to Apex to Rainbow Six Siege. So come check it out. Links to my streaming channels as well as my Twitter and Discord all down below. Like, subscribe, bell, and as always, have a nice day.